So Eupharesia is a remedy for conjunctivitis, especially Eupharesia is a remedy for conjunctivitis, especially in the second stage of conjunctivitis. The first stage is redness of the eyes with burning and photophobia. He cannot keep the eyes open. He has to shade the eyes while looking at the light, and there's an intense burning. So the first stage is of belladonna. In case he passes into the second stage, normally conjunctivitis goes down for 4 to 5 days. Then this almost the second day, euphoria takes over. Now, how does it take over? You have got sand-like sensation in the eyes. You got sand-like sensation in the eyes with profuse lacrimation. This profuse lacrimation is always very acrid. So because of the acrid lacrimation, you have a lot of red excoriation around the eyes or at the eyelids or along the lacrimation, the source, the course of the tears coming down. So all this place, it becomes raw and it becomes raw and excoriated. Now this is because it is a second stage, as I told you, of the conjunctivitis, and then that time there's intense burning. Of course, burning is there, but there's profuse lacrimation. Profuse lacrimation. First stage, there is not much lacrimation, but second stage there is lacrimation, and there can be agglutination where the eyelids they stick together. The eyelids they stick together, so there can be agglutination. But that is eupharesia stage. This is a eupharesia stage. Now, in case the case from this stage goes to the third stage, that is where we have this thick greenish yellow purulent discharge with agglutination of the eyelids, and the conjunctiva becomes red like raw beef. Now we don't have beef, but you can think of mutton, raw mutton. So the conjunctiva becomes red with raw beef, and there's 100% agglutination. When you wake up in the morning, the eyes are stuck, so you have to keep on splashing cold water on the eyes or water on the eyes till they open up. So we cannot easily open the eyes. So this third stage is of argentum nitricum. Now this all these three stages are they come almost in they say I would say they almost come in 4 to 5 days. In 4 to 5 days, your attack of conjunctivitis can be cured in case you know the proper remedies at the proper stage. In case you come across a eupharesia stage and you give eupharesia, you'll get good results in the second stage itself. So you don't the case won't go to the third stage. And in case it goes to the third stage, of course, then we think of argentum nitricum and then cure it for once and for all. Now, what happens if the conjunctivitis? Of course, it is a viral conjunctivitis, so normally it gets well on its own once your body antibodies and antigens they take over and they start fighting this conjunctivitis virus. But in case it becomes chronic, then the eyes can have a chronic lacrimation. Every time he goes out in the wind, every time he goes out in the wind, there can be a chronic lacrimation, and they keep on, uh, the eyes keep on watering. जरा भी अगर wind लग गया आंखों को, so his eyes start watering, and this becomes a chronic case where the eyes keep on burning and then the sand-like sensation, and then we again think of euphoria. Now, what is the difference between yesterday I mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again today that euphoria and alemsepia is exactly opposite. Euphoria is having acrid lacrimation with bland nasal discharge, whereas alemsepia is having acrid nasal discharge with bland lacrimation. Now, what is the difference between acrid and bland? Acrid is tamla rasa, pandra rasa, cut, wizard. All this is acrid, tikha, sarsari, and bland is varan bhat. Varan bhat is bland. As simple as that. So when we talk about acrid and bland, we have to talk about the discharge from the eyes, if it is acrid, then we think of euphasia. If the discharge from the eyes is blunt, then we think of alemsepha. That's why I said euphasia and alemsepha is exactly opposite. But alemsepha is a hot patient. He likes open air, he likes wind, he likes cold air, whereas arsenic is also having very similar symptoms to alemsepha, like uh, profuse nasal, acrid nasal discharge with sneezing. But arsenic album is better by warm drinks, warm food, warm room. So all these things, arsenic album is better by warm. It is a chilly patient. Whereas alemsepha is a hot patient, and euphasia, of course, euphasia has got exactly opposite of alemsepha symptom of exactly opposite of alemsepha. Whenever I talk about euphasia, I think about one more symptom, which is very, I mean, marked symptom, and you can remember this symptom whenever you treat your cases. This one symptom goes round and round euphasia, and I think it can be a very remarkable symptom to remember euphasia. Remember, my dear friends, euphasia has everything. I am repeating it. Euphasia has got everything which is profuse. Profuse. Napkin नहीं चलता है. In coryza euphasia, napkin नहीं चलता है. Towel ही लगता है. He says that दिवसभर तांब्यावर शेंबूड बाहेर काढला. You may say that दिवसभर I have come out when my nasal discharge is almost as big as a lota. Lota भर nasal discharge है. Profuse. There is nothing less. वो कम कुछ नहीं देता है. When we talk about the expectoration in euphasia, expectoration is not as hard as the Kalibai, Kalikarm or the Kali group or Antimtat. Expectoration is very easy because it is directly affecting the cathar. I mean, catharal discharge of euphasia, and then whenever he expectorates, he says that, well, a kidney tray full of expectoration. We talk about a kidney tray full of expectoration. Kidney tray, you know that kidney tray, full of expectoration. रात भर इतना निकाला है. So what I'm saying is, it is always profuse. That profuse word, it has to be embedded in your brain because there's nothing. Even the lacrimation is profuse. Santatdhar nayan. Remember this word, Santatdhar nayan. Nayan is eyes, of course, and Santadhar, where the eyes keep on watering, and it just doesn't stop. So here, everything is profuse. All the catarrhal discharges are profuse. But that is exactly opposite of the euphasia menses. It is very similar to the epis menses. Menses only for 1 hour. Now that's completely opposite because all discharges are profuse, the catarrhal discharges, whereas menses 1 hour or only 1 day. So the menses in euphasia is 1 hour or 1 day, and whereas all the catarrhal discharges are profuse and they keep on, I mean, the discharges keep on coming. As I told you, napkin or hanky is not enough. You need a towel. Literally, you need a towel. You keep on cleaning your nose, and then you keep on, if you cough and the expectoration is there, you'll bring out another, say, at least a pound of expectoration in one night, one single night. So here, of course, it is worse in the wind, and better in a closed place. But euphasia has these symptoms, and in case these symptoms are present, we cannot miss euphasia because euphasia has, then there's some more symptoms, like they say euphasia, uh, all symptoms are accompanied with lacrimation. All symptoms are accompanied with lacrimation. So accompaniment of lacrimation, like in Ipecac, we say all symptoms are accompanied with nausea. In euphasia, all symptoms are accompanied with lacrimation. So lacrimation has to be there in euphasia whenever you think of euphasia. So that's why I said it is an invaluable remedy as far as conjunctivitis is concerned, or anything concerning with the eyes. And we are almost finished with euphasia. I'm opening up the windows. So in case you have some questions, then there's one most insignificant symptom and they say that Eupharesia patient is having blunt injury. So, but normally we don't think of Eupharesia in a blunt injury. You know, we have a very strong opinion with arnica in a blunt injury. Latha Bukhyani Marahan, what we say it is blunt injury. So here we think very strongly of arnica in a blunt injury, but Eupharesia has got a one particular symptom. They say the remedy for blunt injury, but again it has to be accompanied by lacrimation. It has to be accompanied by lacrimation, and then I am opening up Eupharesia. I mean, I'm opening up the windows. If you have any question, you're free to question. You're free. Please question me. Thank you.
Sir, in conjunctivitis, how frequently do you repeat and in what potency?
See, conjunctivitis is basically a very acute phase. I'm not talking about a chronic conjunctivitis. We are talking about the acute conjunctivitis, which is now the season is of acute conjunctivitis. Now you'll ask me why? Because because the monsoons have stopped, but there is still slight, I mean, damp mud around the cities. And whenever trucks or the buses or the cars, four-wheelers or two-wheelers come, they bring the mud in their tires, and this mud is shed on the roads. So here, when it becomes dry, there's a lot of dust particles in the air, and this is a season for conjunctivitis. This is a season for conjunctivitis, and there is a lot of irritation in the eyes. And once the eyes are irritated, well, the virus has got a great platform to land there. And this is a season for conjunctivitis. But I always think that 200 does wonders in acute conjunctivitis. But if it is chronic, if the person says that whenever I go out and every time I go out and slight wind is there, or I look at the fan and the wind is there, draft of air, and I start my eyes start watering, then we can think of 30, but 200 in acute does wonders.
Sir, and how frequently repetition in acute?
I give it thrice a day. I give it thrice a day. See, every doctor has got a different opinion. So some people may think that single dose will suffice, but I give it thrice a day. So depends on how you look at it.
Okay, sir.
Any more? Any more questions? No questions, only confusion.
No, sir, you explained very nicely.
No. I think everyone is confused, so they don't want to ask any questions. Okay. Am I closing the lecture? Shall I
Okay,
close the
sir.
lecture?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Yeah, please.
Hello.
Dr. Anjali, boliye.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Ken says it is a great remedy for measles. So have you used it anytime in measles?
Measles.
Yes.
Well, that's a good
So I've
news.
read it that we have to compare with pulsatilla in measles. Like, so, I mean, have you ever used Eupharesia in measles?
I've used pulsatilla in measles, but I would love to read Kent again because I think I'll refresh my knowledge. You say that it is good for measles. It might be good for measles. I don't contradict you, but I'd like to read Kent and then come back to you when next lecture, because we'll be meeting again on Monday. Because tomorrow
Yes,
after I'm in Mumbai, so Monday we'll meet. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.